And I'm BJ. Welcome back to your weekly booze, news, and reviews for your face.
How's it going?
Happy Nevada Day. Hold on, I have a song for you. Home means Nevada. Home means the hills. Home means the sage and the pine. Out past the Truckee silvery rills, out where the sun always shines. There is a land that I love the best, fairer than all I can see. Out in the heart of the Golden West, home means Nevada to me. For those of you that don't know, this Friday we celebrate a state that is near and dear to my heart.
That we live in.
It's the state we live in.
Is it this
The
Friday?
state of chaos.
Wow.
It's this Friday is the acknowledged Nevada Day.
So
Actual Nevada Day is October the 31st, when our great state joined the Union.
interesting.
It is memorialized, and it is a state holiday. It's a holiday that here in the state of Nevada, you get off. You don't have to work. I mean, some of us, you have to work.
I was going to say, I
I
think
don't have to work.
most government employees get the time off.
That's
but
right. I'm not a government employee.
The day-to-days have to work.
I'm not a government employee, but I'm one of the lucky ones that get it off. And I'm also a native Nevadan, born, bred, raised, and still choosing to live here.
Bravo.
I live in the great Silver State. And
You're in the minority, by the way. I mean, I'm sure you know this, but there's
I
so
am
few
aware.
native Nevadans.
I am aware, which is why I choose to make sure to celebrate. Nevada is one of those cool places, too, that has its own everything. It's got a state
Yes.
bird and a state flower and a state tree and a state animal and a state march. And it even has a state drink. And you guessed it.
What's the state drink?
We're going to have the California state drink tonight.
California state drink.
No, I'm sorry.
I was like,
The state drink of Nevada. If you tuned in last year, you're getting a double dose of it this year. The Picon Punch.
I would like to say that I think our palates have evolved since then for the better.
It
And I'm looking
has.
forward to round 2 of this.
Yeah.
But 'tis the season. I mean, actually, that sounds terrible. We have to get through Halloween first before we really say that.
'Tis the season for a pecan punch. And that's not pecan like the nut.
Yeah, so when you first told me about this drink, I was like, I don't want pecans. Like pecans,
No, not
like
pecans.
pecans. Like I don't want any of that.
The French word, Picon. A pecan, which is a liqueur made from burnt orange peel.
Ooh.
And what we're actually drinking tonight is a mare pecan. And there is a distinct difference. So pecan is an amaro or an amari, depending on how you like to pronounce it.
Mhm.
And I have got some notes. I'm going to refer to those notes now. And there are two kinds. So there's the pecan of what you can drink in France.
Mhm.
That you can't drink that here in the Americas because it has some stuff in it that is not allowed by the Food and Drug Administration here.
Oh, it's out of Belgium. Look at this. Ameripecan.
Yes. And then there's a mare pecan, or pecan a mare, rather, which has none of those things.
With our friends.
And it's still made with burnt orange peel, but it doesn't have some of the other herbal additives. And I'm not saying that to be coy or like, oh, it's a drug. It actually it was created as a medicinal tonic back in the early 1800s.
Okay.
And the pecan punch is just one of those lovely things that made its way over during the Old West with the Basques. The Basques are a group of people that live in the mountains between France and Spain. And this is one of those things that came with them as they immigrated out towards the West. And here in the West, especially up against the Sierra Nevadas and the Rockies, it was a very good place for them because the Basques are sheep herders.
Okay.
They like to herd the sheep, and they go bah, and they go bah. And
all right, let me while you're pouring, I'm going to share. We got some info here from our friends at I don't know what this is. Difford's Guide. I've never heard of these guys, but they have a really good description of Ameripicon. So,
Read it out.
Uncle P, how's it going, man? Good evening to you as well. We're going to do a little gander here at this Ameripicon. And as you can see, look at that, $27. So pretty cheap. If you
Very
can find
affordable.
It. That's a
an
little
apper-
guy though. Isn't
an
100
aperitif.
CL? What's 100 CL?
Centiliters.
Yeah, but what is that to milliliters? How many milliliters is that?
I don't know.
100 CL.
We don't use the metric.
Oh,
system.
so it's 1,000. It's 1,000 ml bottle. So it's a bar bottle. It's a bar bottle. Oh, duh. Maybe if I just open my eyes and keep reading, it's right there. So anyway, it's a 21% alcohol, and it's made with fresh and dried orange peel, macerated in neutral alcohol, and then distilled.
Yes.
Dried gentian roots. I'm probably not pronouncing that right.
It's me.
Gentian root. It looks like a blue flower.
Delightful.
Anyways, those roots, and then quinquina. Jeez, I'm like Quin.
Once again, we're the Barrel Buddies. We are professionals, and we're here to guide you through your cocktail recommendations.
Anyway, some herbs are added. We'll say herbs and spices. They're macerated, and then the distillate and infusion are then blended together along with sugar and caramel. So Amer is French for bitter, and this bittersweet orange and gentian aperitif was created in 1837 in Philippeville, Algeria, by Gaetan Picon, a French cavalry sergeant serving in Algeria. So this is how I think this is where you get the roots of the name. So like
right.
other French aperitifs
nailed it.
created at the time, including Dubonnet Red and Saint Raphael, Ameripicon includes quinine and owed parts of its popularity to its perceived health benefits.
That's right.
Particularly amongst the military, keen to ward off malaria whilst on campaigns in North Africa, hence its name, African Amer.
Oh.
Traditionally served over ice with a dash of grenadine, soda, and a slice of orange, or with lemon syrup and topped with soda water.
Correct.
However, it's now more commonly used in cocktails in general.
You got it.
So a quick sample tasting here says it's a clear tawny amber spirit with glints of burnished bronze. The aroma, zesty orange and quinine with a faint mocha coffee. What is quinine? Quinine is used to treat malaria.
It's also used in tonic water.
It's an anti-parasite.
It's used in tonic water.
It's like a medication.
Tonic water has quinine in it.
Okay. So the taste is bittersweet, lightly syrupy, bitter orange zest, quinine or quinine. I don't know.
Quinine.
Please.
That's correct.
If I'm messing that up,
Here.
I'm sure the chat will tell.
Give it a try.
Orange juice, boiled cabbage, and mocha coffee. They really just slide in that boiled cabbage
They're like,
flavor.
by the way, here's some boiled cabbage. Real taste to the old world.
We're
gonna give the Amer a try
straight up.
So this is Tarani. It comes out of Fairfield, California. So it's just on the other side of the Bay Area in California, which makes it a lot easier to get, and it keeps prices down, which is really good. It's also become really easy to obtain. So any of you that are interested in making this cocktail, the Tarani Amer is actually really easy to get, and it's very affordable. And it is actually listed as an aperitivo. So
perfect.
This is actually a nice aperitivo.
Top Feed, what's up, man?
Top
He's
Feed
like, what's
Coco.
going on? He said it's quinoa. Perhaps quinoa.
Yeah, a little
quinoa.
quinoa.
Quinoa? You're like, oh, little quinoa seeds taste so
It's
good.
very healthy.
So here's what is intriguing about this.
It smells delightful. It smells kind of like Campari.
I would like to talk to our wonderful friend.
It tastes like tonic water without the sweetness.
I need to get into this first, and then I got a little story here. He's drinking some turkey broth. What? Turkey broth?
You feeling
Are you
okay?
sick? Yeah, you under the weather, man?
Well, TB.
Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully.
Is it TBB? Like turkey bone broth? Did you make it yourself?
Ooh.
It's kind of good.
So just get into this.
Actually,
like,
yeah, it's kind of good. As like a real Amaro, something you drink before dinner. It's kind of like Fernet, right? But
yeah, but it's not as punchy. Like it doesn't.
It's
not like you're like.
It doesn't make you go,
like,
that's really going to make me hungry.
Like, oh my god.
It's actually delightful.
Oh my god. Yeah.
And the hints of the orange peel actually are really enjoyable. I don't get burnt orange peel. Do you get burnt orange? I don't get burnt. It doesn't taste burnt or charred.
No, I don't get that.
It tastes a little medicinal, like herbal, like you would get with a normal Amaro.
Do you know what I want to put this in?
Tell me.
We
A
should
pecan
talk.
punch.
We should talk to our friend, the well-known and illustrious Tony Abugama.
Oh man!
And this may
yeah.
need to go into a cable car, because imagine
Oh.
this orange essence in that orange, delightful orange-ish
Yeah.
tasting cocktail, or maybe come up with a spin
Oh,
where you throw this in there. Oof, I think we're onto something.
Tony, we got to talk
Shout
to you.
out. Yeah, we do, man. We got to get him on the
Tony
show.
watches every now and then.
We gotta
Actually,
get him on the show.
and I'd love to get you on the show. Yeah.
So for those that don't know, the cable car, its
Cocktail
roots,
of the year.
Cocktail of the Year was invented at the amazing and one and only Bellagio Casino out here in Vegas.
And a specific bar, by the way.
Did they? Was it the Petrosian
was
at the
the
time? Was it the
Petrosian.
Petrosian? Yeah.
Yes.
So Top Feed did make the bone broth over 24 hours.
Oh, good for that's the way to do it, bud.
Yeah. And he's like, you can't call yourself a proper chef if you don't have a chest freezer filled with bone broths and demi-glaze.
Yeah, go Top Feed.
It's true.
You're getting into the season. Hey, we are like
it's coming. It's that time.
3.5 weeks out from
it's right around the bend.
My favorite holiday of the year. That's right. I said it. Thanksgiving. You gotta love it. So what did we make? We made the pecan punch. So what is it? It's a great cocktail, and I do want to just quickly run through it. It's 2 ounces of Amir pecan.
Yeah.
It is half an ounce of grenadine, which is not orange syrup, by the way. It is grenadine.
Cherry?
Is no.
What is it?
It's pomegranate.
I had no
Grenadine
idea.
is pomegranate.
I always assume cherry because you know what I think it is? Shirley Temple.
Shirley Temple. And you're like, oh, it's a cherry Coke.
Grenadine is a cherry.
Yeah.
Or cherry Coke. You do the same thing with a Coke.
Right? Or Shirley Temple. Oh, it's cherry 7-Up.
Cherry and 7-Up or Sprite. Right? Yeah, whatever.
It's actually pomegranate. So it's
I think the other one's called a Roy Rogers.
You got it. Ooh. When you want to feel like a big boy at dinner.
I'll take a Roy Rogers on the rocks.
So Amir pecan, 2 ounces, half an ounce of grenadine.
Uncle P said he just had a PB&J.
Dinner of champions. You pour that over a tulip glass filled with ice or a rocks glass.
Oh, you really got these to the brim.
You're supposed to.
I can't even cheersy with
you
this.
Can
It'll spill everywhere.
You can cheers. You remember always cheers there. You pour that over ice, then you fill it most of the way with soda water, and then you put a half-ounce brandy floater on top. So that first sip is big.
That Christian Brothers, it's got a reputation to live up to.
It's good. And yes, Christian Brothers would be the preferred in the state of Nevada. Christian Brothers is the preferred brandy.
I was going to ask. So I know you got to ride a fine line because some brandies are kind of like middle of the road, inexpensive, but then brandies kind of jump up. Then you get like some of the older.
Yeah, there's no middle of the road.
It's cheap,
it's
and then
14
expensive.
to 20, and then it goes
to like $70,
$90.
Yeah, 90. So we had this conversation where I was like, "So are you sure we're only going to do those Christian Brothers on the show? Like, shouldn't we step it up with your brandy?" And you're like, "No,
nope,"
because this is what traditionally, but
it's the
traditionally used in Nevada is
Christian Brothers. That is traditionally the used brandy.
Yeah.
And pecan punch, I will tell you that if you've never had one, the first time you have one, typically it will burn your eyeballs out of the socket because that brandy floater on top makes you go, hey, oh my God.
This is one of those cocktails where there's so much like going on. And it's like
punch.
herbaceous. It's got that orange like rind. You know, if you guys think like you bite into an orange rind, this has a lot of that essence to it. Not very sweet at all in a good way. Yep. It's very like herbal, herbaceous, orange rindy, fruit rind.
Little burn.
But here's the thing. I don't get a lot of booze, but I can tell this can hit you quick.
Oh, yeah. The booze is hidden behind
2 of these.
The booze is hidden behind all of that bitter orange and the burn.
And you don't really taste it, so you just kind of keep going.
That's why it's a punch, right? Because you could call this a lot of different kind of cocktails, but I think it's always interesting they call it a punch because typically a punch is something that's very fruity, very sweet, hides the alcohol.
Yeah.
And then when you taste it, you're like, oh, kind of the burn and the bitter, but I don't really taste the alcohol. And these get to you. These get to you quick.
I would. He's like, only sissies order Shirley Temples. It's all about the Roy Rogers. That's exactly it, right?
And then
I've had many a Shirley. I was definitely a big Shirley Temple kid. Like,
nothing
always,
wrong with a little,
especially when you
7-Up.
grow up, like when you're still kind of at that age as like a young teenager in Vegas, and you're like the family's like, all right, kid, we're going to the steakhouse at some casino.
Circus.
So never.
No, that's a delightful steakhouse.
Not anymore. It's
if you know,
Jump the Shark. It's not good anymore. Do not, friends, family,
if you know,
countrymen, stop going there. It has really declined and started going downhill. The steakhouse
Really?
at Circus. I had a handful of very close friends over the past few months go there. All, like, it was 3 of them. I got three reports back that it's gone down in quality, and that's very unfortunate. However, I can say this fact to kind of if you're looking for that classic steakhouse vibe, Golden Steer is like right now is booming.
Old school, very old school.
Like,
yeah, you got
they are next level.
Weeks to get in.
I don't know what happened. We used to be able to get a table there any Friday night, and now it's booked like weeks out.
It's TikTok. That's what it is.
Good point.
Excuse me. I've been seeing it on TikTok a lot, and so it's hard to get in. You know what else I just came up to?
What's
that?
It's
been like on my list for 3 years, but now all of a sudden it's all over TikTok again. Oh, excuse me. What's really been on my list for a couple of years, and I'm sad because now it's all over TikTok. Primal. You been?
What is Primal? I've never even heard of it. What is Primal?
God. Well, it's number 1 on the steakhouse lists right now.
But from who? The Joe Schmo's list of.
We're gonna look it up. Nope, we're gonna
Primal.
Look it up. We're gonna go to.
Listen, we combined have probably about 70 years.
You don't know about Primal?
Never heard of it. What is Primal?
It's at Boulevard Mall.
Are you kidding? Is this a joke? Are you just trolling me now?
No,
it's at a mall.
It's at Boulevard Mall,
which is, and for friends that don't know, the Boulevard Mall is significantly away from the Strip. I wouldn't say that.
It's ghetto.
I would say it's in not a great neighborhood.
Oh, fact.
It's a mall where all the big anchors left. Dillard's left. JCPenney left. I think maybe JCPenney's
the
still
Sears.
There.
The Sears has been turned into a. It's being turned into a Universal Technical Institute. And it's funny because the outside has a big sign that just says UTI, which is what I think you get when you step into that building.
Yikes.
Look up Primal. It's like a medieval, it's a medieval themed steakhouse.
Do you know what this sounds like? This sounds like some company or some business that just paid a bunch of influencers a free meal to come through, hear me out, and just review the heck out of it and say it's amazing. Because guys,
sounds like
we are in the disinformation age right now. I'm not going to go too much down the rabbit hole, but don't get suckered into places like that. Come just talk to some people that actually have some, So I don't even know what to say. It's just like experience of living in Vegas. What is Primal?
Can I get us back on track?
Over that.
We're gonna get to it.
And how is it the number 1 steakhouse of what?
Cleaver.
Under whose authority? Who said it's the number 1?
TripAdvisor. It's number 1 on TripAdvisor.
Yeah, I forgot how authoritative TripAdvisor is.
I don't know.
When was the last time you went to TripAdvisor.com for anything?
3 years ago, 5 years ago.
I think the last time I looked at TripAdvisor was when I printed out map directions from MapQuest in the year 2000. That was the last time I went to TripAdvisor.
Sorry,
anybody in the chat, tell me you guys some of you probably haven't even heard of TripAdvisor. I do not. They are in no form or fashion a reputable, authoritative review. I know I went a little off the rails there. Sub 1K.
I deserve it.
Sub 1K.
Bobby. So anyways, you can pre-batch half of your cocktail.
So tell me, what does that mean? So to explain to what pre-batching means.
Okay.
So does that mean we just like make a bunch before we go on a road trip?
Yeah, absolutely. Every time
I'm not drinking
every time
road,
you pull over,
but when we get somewhere,
drink responsibly.
Yes.
I have to tell you to drink responsibly. So no, what I did was what I miss.
He says printing out MapQuest directions on his Net Zero connection.
Hey,
on his Netscape browser.
Net Navigator. I like that one.
As he signed into his AOL, like the modem.
You've got mail. So pre-batch just means that what I did was I mixed up the Picon and the grenadine ahead of time, because we'd obviously, with soda water, you want to keep that sparkling action.
Yeah, because it's carbonated.
So you don't want to pour that in an open container to lose out your gas. and then you float this on top. So you don't want to blend that all in and lose out the float. The float's half the fun.
Yeah.
So you can do half of the work early, so that way you can do the other half last. And so if you're going to have a party where you're going to serve these up, you could pre-batch these, and then that way again you're going to fill about half your cocktail glass with the ice, and then
Okay.
you fill again most of the glass up with soda water, and then you float about half an ounce of brandy on top. So
I'm gonna tell you right now, this is delightful, and I think that it's
and garnish with a lemon peel.
it's refreshing. I could see that a lemon or an orange peel. I think would be really
And-
like a little zest.
So
would
let's
be really good on this.
can we walk down a long road here? I know we already walked down a long road, but let's walk a different direction. How could we turn this cocktail up a little bit? What would you do?
better brandy?
Okay, better brandy.
That
Yeah.
would I would do better brandy.
Okay.
And I would try for us to get the Ameripicon actual
I like. So here's the one
Ameripicon
thing.
bottle.
You can buy another version of Ameripicon, which is orange, and I like the more orange-looking pecan punch.
Mhm.
It to me, like if you hold this up to the light, you can see it's
It's
orange,
a beautiful color, though.
It's a
like
pretty
that is
orange.
such a unique.
right?
I mean,
It
everyone
turns
can
a
see that.
pretty
You guys
color
can
of
see
orange.
that. Like it is a pretty and
Yeah.
very unique color of a
It's
cocktail.
orange.
You kind of get that old fashioned. It's like a richer looking old fashioned.
Yeah, it's very orange.
Yeah.
And I would just say with the other version of Ameripicon, which looks more French,
I love these glasses, by the way. Can you talk about this? And I didn't
The-
mean to cut
the
you off,
tulip
but I'm
glass?
really into this.
well, I'm going to talk about how I came to all of this too, because
Oh, okay.
the gifters of all of this is actually watching, and so I do want to pay some homage to that. But I would also pick up the Luxardo. Like we're using Roses, which is a pretty standard brand.
Yeah, Luxardo.
But if we went to Luxardo,
Grenadine.
I would also garnish with a Luxardo cherry, and I would also
Yes.
garnish with a Meyer lemon. I would do a Meyer lemon garnish. Just because Meyer lemons to me give this very rich, very pungent lemon smell. And I think that in good cocktailing, you've got to have a water element, you've got to have an alcohol element, you should have a fruit element. The fruit element, I think the smell element of the fruit element of a nice Meyer lemon, it would take this up notches. And again, I think you're right. We should talk to Tony, and I think that we could maybe reimagine this cocktail for
I like
something
that.
a little more relevant,
a new
relevant.
a revisiting, a re-envision, a new vision.
For a good American
Maybe
bar.
using the
I
right
think
words,
this should be on a cocktail menu in every Nevada
I agree.
bar, everywhere, and you could do versions of it that are
Yes.
very homaged to what it is, and you could step it up in your own way, and it would be a really big deal. You could do some VSOPs, or you could do some cognacs even.
Why? I'm
There's some things you
baffled.
could
I
do.
have only seen this up in Reno.
Well,
I've only seen this cocktail on a menu in
apparently.
Reno. Why is that?
Reno, Winnemucca, Elko,
All up north.
right? Those are all Basque. That's the Basque region of Nevada.
Oh, well, this makes sense because your whole history lesson said the Basque region.
Basque region, right? Those are Basque
Got
regions of
it.
Nevada. There is a Basque region near to us that we could drive to, and we should, in Bakersfield, California.
Oh, that's 3 hours away.
So-
Not even that. We
correct.
In
In
Bakersfield.
Bakersfield, California, there is actually a hotel that is known for their pecan punch.
Okay.
The name of that hotel, by the way, from the article "How the West Was Drunk" by Wayne Curtis. Really enjoy that.
That was a great
so-
name, Wayne Curtis.
It's a really
What's the
good
website?
article.
What's the give Wayne a quick shout out?
So this is an interesting website. NABasque, EUS.
Okay.
It's obviously meant for European
Sure.
consumer.
Hey, really quick though, before you get into that, Top Feed, yes, he does look like Jack Black when that beard gets going. Oh, he's got that total
Sorry,
Jack
I'm growing
Black
it out
vibe
for the
going
winter.
on. And Sub 1K's never even been to TripAdvisor. Never.
Oh,
So,
Okay.
Case in point. Anyways, go on.
thanks, Bob. Apparently,
Bakersfield.
there's a hotel in Bakersfield, California, which is
Is
known
the Clown
to
Hotel?
be. No, that's in Tonopah.
Tonopah. Sorry.
In Bakersfield, there's a hotel
The
called.
Madonna Inn.
That's in
All
San Luis.
over the
That's in San Luis
place.
Obispo.
Love that place.
You been?
Oh, fantastic! Of course.
Every
That's why I
room-
mentioned it.
Every room is different.
Very cool.
No, it's
Not-
called
yeah.
the Noriega.
Okay.
and it's
Go
a large old school. So Bakersfield, if you didn't know, actually has a big cowboy history. It's kind of known as the country music capital of the West Coast.
Are you gonna pour some more here?
Yeah, are you ready?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
If you want to talk
The
and pour,
country music
barkeep.
capital of the West, because
Okay.
it is
Look at that color.
very
It's beautiful.
it's very cowboy-y
Okay.
in Bakersfield. So you can go to the Noriega where you can actually get a pecan punch, because a lot of the Basques, when they were migrating out,
ordered that.
they would go there and they brought this with them. So we could actually go get a legit pecan punch, it sounds like, fairly close.
I think you are so onto something with the elevated version of this, of like a little refinement. And I
Yeah,
think you could have a
thank you.
cocktail of the year on your hands here, because
yeah, I think so too.
it's one of those cocktails
so
that has such a great rich history. And I think that with today's ingredients and the way that we've kind of offered a premium, they're like the way cocktails have blown up, there's so many premium ingredients you can get for cocktails now that you really like push it to the edge with these pours.
That's why I should be a bartender, because I know what it is to give you a right pour.
Wow.
I'm, you know,
like, guys, like this is like bubbling over.
Would you like to know the term for that? That's called pouring it to the meniscus.
Well, you have mastered that, sir, because I don't even want to pick this up.
Well, the air pressure in the room is going to hold it within the glass, so you're good.
I'm not cheersing you. We're drinking this directly.
You gotta really pull deep to get all that good grenadine, to get the good mix, because that floater will get you. So you got to pull it to get the right blend.
Ooh,
right?
Yeah.
Isn't that good? When you blend it,
man.
when you get past that floater and you blend in to the mix, it's really good.
This
really good.
This flips the switch, guys. This drink, like I'm gonna tell you, we're seasoned drinkers.
This will get you
and
going.
This already, like I feel it.
Yep.
Like I'm 1.25 deep, and I'm ready to party.
There's gonna be some pizza ordered, and there's gonna be some major chill. I'm glad my wife is picking me up tonight. So I got to talk about this. I got to talk about where I got all this.
One second.
These glasses.
Yes,
you asked all of this.
Merle Haggard's home is in
That's
Bakersfield.
True. That's a fact.
Is he in Bakersfield?
Oh, he's dead, but yes, he lived in Bakersfield.
Well, the Haggard estate.
That's right. You know, I went to school with one of Merle Haggard's granddaughters. Yeah.
The
Darlena was her name.
Like, what a rich history we have that I think that,
yeah.
You know. Anyway, he's saying the whiskey smash does the same thing for him. Oh, I hear you totally.
Okay, I don't love the whiskey smash so much. At least the one I've had.
Have you ever had a Sinatra smash?
That's the one I don't like, and that's the one I've had.
Sir, I may just have
you
leave this room right now. The Sinatra smash is
I don't like it.
Such a good drink.
I don't like it. It's the muddled blackberry that I don't like in that
cocktail.
That's what I don't like.
That just takes it to another level.
It's something about the muddled blackberry with the Jack Daniels, and I just don't like it.
The muddled blackberry and the Jack Daniels make the drink, and then it has the bowls. It doesn't have what's the stuff in the grenade? Not grenadine. It's the Chambord.
Oh yeah, the
holy hand
grenade.
The holy hand grenade.
Holy hand grenade. The raspberry Chambord
from Diablo.
It's too
holy
much.
Hand grenade.
It's too much.
Yeah. Oh, he said his friend bought Merle Haggard's old Greyhound tour bus.
That's awesome.
So wild. That is
Wait, where is it? Could we get on that bus?
That sounds amazing.
Could we do a show live from the Merle Haggard tour bus? Serious.
Mrs. Askins, don't elevate it. It's a great cocktail because it's simple and classic. No, I totally respect that. And I totally agree with you. However, I think you could really take it a level up. You could level up this cocktail and have it at every bar up and down the strip. With such a rich Nevada history in California region, this whole
maybe
West
you don't call
history,
it a pecan punch, right? Maybe
exactly.
you call it something else, a pecan something.
But it has such a great, rich historical story behind it.
Yeah, to just let it fade into obscurity or be in these back historical bars is a disservice to such a really good cocktail. B, a really good portion of where we come from in this state, where our heritage is coming from.
Roots,
you know,
deep roots.
I have to go to some of the chat here that I'm getting. I'm getting some chat here.
Yes, what do you got?
We were talking about quinine helps with leg cramps. Oh, I'm popping.
Yeah,
pop. Let me see. Does that help?
That helps.
Maybe I go this way. Maybe go this
way.
You're
just like really like
I'm like really in it.
Yeah, like it's just popping.
Helps with leg cramps. Then I've also got don't mess with the pecan punch.
Better.
Also, this one says don't mess with the pecan punch. Make it in the bubble glass. I don't know what that means.
Okay.
Also, apparently, Buck Owens was in Bakersfield. I don't know who Buck
I only know
Owens is.
Buck
You're
Melanoma. Who's Buck Owens? Who's Buck Owens?
you're Mr. You listen to all the old country.
I know, but it was
I
funny
feel
because
like you should
I
know
was
who
listening to some
Buck Owens was.
Pearl Haggard earlier and some
Well, this is coming
Hank
from
Williams.
this is coming in the Jack Daniels glass that your dad has. Well, this is coming from my mom. If that didn't give it away. And the reason that she's
what
texting
is
me is
Mom saying?
because I got all of this
Oh yeah, please. Sorry,
as
yes,
a
go into the
birthday
story.
gift
Oh,
from my parents,
wow.
from the old mom and dad.
When was this?
What you can't see is so last year they had this custom pecan punch kit made for me.
Okay,
It's in this solid wood.
You're gonna have to get up and
case.
bring it over here.
Yeah, it's too heavy. I can't carry it. It's so effing heavy. Hold on.
I mean, at least get it into the frame. Like, here, we'll pull the chair back. This is magnificent, by the way. Look at this. This thing is like, wow. Everyone can see it. Look at that. Holds the bottles. Holds the glasses for 4. It's all cut out beautifully in that wonderful wooden case. You seal it up. It's got a handle around it. That's what you walk around with to get the party started. You just need to you need to get something emblazoned on that. I think it needs your touch. Now that you have it in your possession, you need to add some graphics to that. Throw stickers on there.
I wouldn't put stickers.
Barrel Buddies.
I might consider like carving something into
From Hee Haw. I totally missed that.
What Hee Haw?
Half of the famous Pickin' and Grinnin'. Sub 1K, you guys. I never watched Hee Haw, so I'm not going to get any of those references.
I don't know that I could do anything to it because the wood is so beautiful. It's been so beautifully stained. It was crafted with a lot of care, and it is solid.
I almost
it's
want
so heavy,
like those people that do burn art into wood.
Yeah, and
maybe you have like a nice etching.
I don't know. Again, just to think about getting into that wood grain. I mean, it's just
great gift.
It's so beautiful. It was a great gift. Thank you guys. I love it so much, and I do.
Yeah, great.
I keep it prominently, as you know. I keep it prominently
every time we
displayed
go
in
to
the
your
house.
place. It's like there's that Pecan box.
It literally sits in the front hallway
and it's
next
kind
to
of
the
like
bar.
It's starting to build a bad reputation because what I mean by that is we know the dangers of having a couple of these. So we're like, don't open that box.
I had a hard night. What was it? Monday, and I came home and I was like half dead, and I said, I need a cocktail. And Amanda goes, yeah, I could have a cocktail. It was a hard day. And I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And I was like, oh, Nevada Day is the end of the week. It's pecan punch season. Let's have a pecan punch.
Pecan punch.
And so we had a little before dinner pecan punch and a little after dinner pecan punch. And then I went, we got to do this on the show again because I forget how good these are. And again, yeah, look at the color. Just the color that they become.
And I think the carb from that club soda it kind of goes to your head pretty quickly.
Well, it's fun.
Like I already got. Here's the thing.
Oh,
it takes a lot before I say that I have a little buzz going, but I have a little buzz going.
These get you going.
I feel it. I felt that. Like, hey, I'm here. I'm here.
These are the party starters. So pecan punch, guys. I definitely listen. I rank this as a 10 out of 10.
I would rank it a 10 out of 10. No question.
It's a good cocktail.
I would drink this. Like I said, I wish we could get Nevada. Southern Nevada bars, actually, it needs to get ramped up. I would love to see this on more menus.
It's too good.
Here's the thing. You go into a bar nowadays, and I don't know about, please, in the chat, let's talk about this because I think this is a great conversation.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like cookie cutter cocktails that everybody has. And it's always like, oh, here's an old fashioned. 9 out of 10, they're trash. Here's
they're not good.
You know, there's just like a cookie cutter handful of like 5 or 6 cocktails that every time you go to these places, you're just like
margaritas.
I guess I'll have the old
whiskey sours.
I mean, not like Applebee's, like
well, that's what I'm thinking.
But like, yeah, whiskey sours. They'll have like espresso martini.
Can I tell you a
story? Those are huge right now. They're back.
They're back.
They are.
Did they ever leave?
They did. They were kind of a
I
faux
love the
pas a
espresso
couple years
martini.
ago. They've come back. I'd say the past
They were
2 to 3
they were
years.
cliche.
Huge.
You're right. A couple years ago, they were a cliche.
Yes,
order.
Toffee Cocoa. So Tom Collins, Manhattan. I wouldn't even say I haven't seen Tom Collins in a long time.
That's off the menu right now.
Yeah,
off the
Manhattan Bloody Marys, obviously because of brunches.
They're so terrible. You're right. That's a terrible cocktail that people bastardize all the time.
Which one? Tom Collins?
No, the Bloody Mary.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
Well, Bloody Marias are big out here. Everyone's like tequila out here.
Yeah, but even still, they're using the most terrible tomato juice. And
then and then they all these places throw a hamburger on the top of it. Like, guys, stop. Just stop doing stupid things.
There's a lot to be said about a good cocktail.
There is
a good cocktail,
and there's not many places where you can really get a good cocktail. That's another thing. Like every place now has like a bar. Especially we're here in Vegas. All these casinos have bars, but a good bar is very far and few in between.
Yeah, it's good to find a good bar and a good bartender. You got to have somebody you can trust.
It's 50-50. It's 50% the menu and 50% the personality and execution of what the bartender does.
Absolutely. You gotta have a person who understands balance and has a deft hand.
Well, that too. And can also have a heavy hand based on my conversation with them.
Right now, where would be your go-to bar? Like if you said,
I knew that was coming.
So bar based on good bar you can trust, cost, and a bartender that you could trust. Where would you go right now in town? Tell the people.
I'm thinking because here's the thing. A lot of my go-tos are no longer go-tos.
Well, that's not nice.
I know.
That's terrible.
I know. I will say the one classic that always lives up to the hype. We mentioned it earlier.
Okay.
If I really want to we're dressed to the nines. I want to take the wife out or somebody. We want to go do something. Petrosian at the Bellagio.
Yeah, that's always good.
Really,
always good.
Just it has a lot of personal memories. Just because at one point in time in my life, I worked there for many years, and just the people I met there, the staff that I've met there. A lot of people are still there. They're day oneers. I think they just had their 25th anniversary of being open. Like these people are just like, at the time they were like the best of their craft. That they put. The best of the best in these places. And the Petrosian Lounge, which is basically the lobby bar at the Bellagio, I still think to this day holds its own, holds its weight. And you can go there and
birthplace of the cable car.
Have a stellar cocktail, and you can have a cable car.
Yeah,
great spot. It was created at the Bellagio, and I think the cable car is one of my favorite cocktails of all time. Very easy to make.
I appreciate you introducing me to it.
Uncle P says your house is the place to go to for cocktails. The problem
is all of this
is Beej lives out in the middle of nowhere.
All of this. No, he's talking about your house.
This house in general.
We can make it. Can I give you my recommendation?
I was just going to say now it's your turn. Okay. What do you got for us?
I'm going to give you my recommendation.
I'm going to shoot your shot here.
Bouchon at the Venetian. Yeah.
I mean, I'm on the fence with that one.
Why?
Because I think that they're so busy that they don't have the time to spend with you.
You have to pick your time. I agree.
You can't go during any busy time.
Sunday brunch is not when you go for a cocktail. I'm talking after work. If Amanda
Bobby
Bouchon. Listen, you have to pick your time.
Thomas Keller.
And you go to Bouchon.
Yeah.
After work, middle of the week.
It is Thomas Keller. Am I losing my mind?
It is Thomas Keller.
Thomas Keller. You're right. Let's look at the menu there.
We're
going to share that
with
because I love you guys.
The partner restaurant is in Napa.
English Laundry.
And it's a beautiful restaurant. The staff is amazing. But that bar runs the entire length of the restaurant. They have every cocktail you can imagine on the menu. It's actually one of the few places that I was able to go and get a paper plane, another cocktail of the year, just before the chartreuse ran out. And I was able to go get a paper plane.
Guys, I don't have much to share with you guys. Yes, the French Laundry. My apologies, I misspoke there. I don't. So I wanted to share this, but like the Bouchon.
Their website's trash.
It's pretty trash. Hey, Thomas Keller, because I know you watch the show, Tommy.
That's right.
Can you fix this, dude? This is really clunky. Like the dinner menu, you should have your cocktail menu on here.
Agreed.
Oh, but that steak frites, my lord, is one of the best things I've ever had in my life.
And it's one of the best,
and it's affordable,
priced restaurants on the Strip.
It really is, guys. This is at the Venetian.
Really, it's the best priced restaurant on the Strip.
I cannot recommend it enough. It is. I would say it's one of the dark horses. It's very kind of under the radar.
People know about it for Sunday brunch, but they forget about it for
dinner,
everything else.
dinner is just something
It's
spectacular.
crazy good.
Thomas Keller is often there. He's
He
often
is.
there.
He
You can
splits his
run
time.
into him. He splits his time. You see him at the Venetian,
Between
at Bouchon,
Bouchon and Napa.
and Napa. If you want a very similar food quality to French Laundry, you can go to Bouchon. I think that the execution and that Thomas Keller style. Now we're getting into like my area,
Hold
foodie
on.
zone.
You ever seen a glass
is-
like that?
What is that? Is it like a floater?
It's called the bubble glass, and apparently you can put floaters in it.
Well, you bought it apparently.
I didn't buy that
Let's
glass.
go. That's what it says on there.
I never bought that
Last
glass.
purchased.
A shot glass jigger is a quaffer.
So
That looks
Bouchon.
Crazy.
I'm gonna type it. I'm gonna put it in the chat here for our friends.
Yeah, please check out Bouchon.
Yeah,
so
Bouchon at
we-
the Venetian.
We've talked the booze. We've talked reviews. It's time for the news. And I've got some interesting news for you. It's coming out of Singapore. Our friends over at the Condé Nast Traveler put out this article, which I thought was really interesting. Since we're talking cocktails, it was a good time to also talk cocktails.
I have one news article too. Don't forget about me.
Oh, I won't.
I'm gonna throw something at you guys and for our fans.
This is how
do you got?
Asia, the entire continent, has become the cocktail capital of the world. And this article was released yesterday by Dan Dow. And so basically, he's just talking about how in the last decade, Asia has really become the place for cocktails and where they're really trying to do innovations. And the world's 50 best bars ceremony was held just this month in Singapore.
Okay.
And so he's just talking about how every major bar, every major cocktail award
Yep.
is actually taking place in Singapore and across Asia. And it's a really big deal that in the past 10 years, they've really embraced cocktail culture, which was not something Asia was previously doing, but they've really gone both feet in the boat.
Here's one
And
thing.
he thinks it's a really big deal for them. And some of the best cocktails are now coming out of cocktailers in Asia.
When I
about that?
when I was in Beijing, this is the wife and I, 2018. We went out there. Excuse me, no, it wasn't 2018. It was 2019. Anyway, not too long ago, a couple years ago.
Pre-COVID.
They were pre-COVID. Very, very lager, Pilsner, beer, Heineken, wine, like a lot of Belgian beers, Weinstefaner, Warsteiner, very just light lagers and beers. Okay. No IPAs. A lot of people, they do not do IPAs. They do not do stouts. They do not do dark beers.
That's unfortunate.
Very, very, very cocktails like did not exist is the point of this conversation. Like it's just very, very difficult to find cocktails, but you can get a beer on any corner. Weinstefaner, Warsteiner, all this
very
stuff
we
get here. Yeah. He's so top feeds bacon baguettes and pumpkin for cream. Oh, one of my vices is what are the little stupid pumpkin raviolis? What is those called?
Pumpkin ravioli?
No. They got a name for it. I don't know. Oh, you're pouring us another one.
Pumpkin ravioli? Is that what it's called?
No, it's not what it's called. We need to wrap this up. I'm done. I'm done here.
I think that's what you called them.
So what do we got? So hey, we have. Why don't you talk about what we got?
You had a news story. I thought you were going to share a news story.
Yes, you ready for this?
I am.
One of your best friends. I know you're such an avid follower, and you're.
Oh my god, you're going to share that news story.
Your finger is on the pulse with the Mr. Ascot himself. Fred Minnick did his review of BTAC, and.
Any day, Fred Minnick, you and me, head to head.
I don't know what you said. All this aggression towards this poor guy.
Who's
just doing the same thing we're doing.
Foot. You know what? He can sniff his own asshole with that Ascot.
Okay, easy. He did his review of BTAC. And he completely shat over this year's William LaRue Weller.
I guess they didn't pay him enough money to give him a good review.
Stop. So a lot of other people followed suit. There's been a lot of reviewers that have gotten their samples. We're apparently not there yet.
Can't wait to get ours.
Buffalo Trace, send us the box. Hello.
I bet you we think it's amazing.
No, actually, because a lot of these reviewers have a lot of good points.
Okay. All right. Fine.
Apparently, it's just a really bad year for William LaRue Weller. That is one of the most expensive Buffalo Trace antique collection bottles that are released once a
That's
year
weird.
around
It's
Thanksgiving.
like the most coveted BTAC release.
It's one of the big swinging
Right?
bottles
It's
of every
the
year.
I think it's
Last
the
year
big
was
swinging bottle.
magical. Well, there was one year there, I don't think it didn't get released.
It was 3 years ago they didn't release the William LaRue Weller. Pretty sure it was 2020. They held it back.
They were saying the George T. Stagg is stellar.
Really?
George T. Stagg, that's the big dog. But William LaRue
What
Weller.
about the T Handy, the Thomas Handy?
Those are never that great.
I was gonna
Thomas
say,
Handy
it always
is never that
sucks.
great. Saz is never that great. And
Saz
the Eagle
always
Rare is
sucks.
kind of meh. Like it's
Which is
just-
unfortunate because I'm sorry, Eagle Rare is one of the greatest things
It
that
is.
Buffalo Trace and the
Over
Saz
oaked.
family release.
friends, like fans, everyone I'm telling here.
It's a good mash bill.
Old bourbon doesn't mean it's going to be better. You have to remember, like
Oak tea, baby.
the kind of the money area, like the perfect area for aged bourbon is anywhere from like 4 to 8 to 10 years max.
That's why regular
Max.
Eagle Rare, right? Regular Eagle Rare is a 10-year
That's
aged
it.
product. And remember that age statement on the bottle. That doesn't mean that everything in that bottle was aged 10 years. It means the minimum age of what's in that bottle is 10 years. It's still a blended
Yeah.
It's still a blended product. There could be things in there that's 18 years old. It could be 12 years old.
Anyway, the
There's a lot
older,
of things,
the
but it doesn't
older,
mean you're right.
it's gonna remember Biff Tannen's oak. You're just gonna get some really gnarly oak after like a certain age.
Yeah.
So older doesn't mean better. It's not a Scotch, right? And even in Scotch world, older doesn't
Same
mean
difference.
better.
Same difference.
You know,
But-
Scotch has a higher threshold, so you can get way deeper in the years of Scotch before they start getting like a little too much.
And why is that?
I would probably say that the environment that they're aged in, it's a lot more mild and cooler temperatures. So you're not
And-
getting a lot of that barrel Lamaze like you're getting in a Kentucky 20-year-old
Yeah, where they're
barrel
trying to,
sitting
like-
there with like 100-degree summers and 50-degree winters. We're in like Isla or some in Highlands.
thank
It's
you.
like 50 degrees all year round.
That's kind of my problem, right?
Yeah.
A lot of the Kentucky barrel aging processes, they're literally trying to disintegrate barrels.
Yes.
They
Yeah.
are trying
There's
to
metal warehouses. They have
disintegrate
metal, like sheet metal
barrels.
warehouses. Like they want to get them so rip roaring hot. I mean, we had shout out to Aaron and Smoke Wagon. He does that out here. He gets his juice, puts it in barrels in Vegas warehouses,
Yes.
and it just disintegrates in a Vegas
It
warehouse.
literally breaks them down. It disintegrates them. But the other thing that I would say is, remember, you're using virgin oak barrels
That is
in those
correct.
bourbons, where with scotches you're using
reused.
and sometimes that's Oloroso cask, sometimes that's bourbon,
Mhm.
sometimes
Pedro
it's American
Jimenez,
whiskey,
Sherry Oloroso.
That's right, Pedro
Yeah.
Jimenez. That's great. And so you are now infusing as part of that Lamaze, as part of that cycle process.
Yep.
You're also infusing other things into those.
Yeah.
So you're not tearing down that barrel and just getting oak. You're getting oak plus
Yeah.
whatever was in that barrel. So I think with Scotch, even some of those older age statements, I think the length that you're spending in there, you're not just getting wood and oak and breaking down the molecular structure of the barrel, but you're also taking in the molecular structure of what was previously in that barrel. And that's
Definitely.
a big deal. I think that's
Definitely.
something that people don't think about. And that's one of the things I think that people like about Scotch. We just went to a Scotch tasting, so it's like really fresh in
Glendronach.
our mind. So shout out to the Breakthrough team
Yeah.
over at Brown Foreman, because you
Mhm.
guys brought out the Glendronach. We had the 12, the 18, the port, the 21, and the cask. It was fabulous.
Fabulous. Fabulous.
Well, this has been fun. Thanks.
This has been fun, friends. I think that's kind of a wrap. Why don't you talk about next show? I hear we have a big show next week.
Okay.
You want to talk about that?
I do.
Or
We
keep
have
it
a guest.
secret.
We have a guest.
Oh, we're gonna have a guest
Be watching the socials at the Barrel Buds
on Instagram.
Don't forget to like, follow, ring the bell, and share this out to your friends. We would really appreciate
Nobody
that.
does that.
But we
Yeah.
appreciate it if you do it. Call to action. But we do have a really good friend. Melina is coming on, a friend of ours from over at the
Oh.
Corey's crew. And she's
Okay.
going to help us celebrate. We didn't do a Halloween show tonight
Yeah.
because next week we're going to do a international show,
Of
Dia de los Muertos.
that sounds like tequila. Oh boy, tequila.
Not tequila, mezcal. We are gonna do a smoky.
That's gonna be our first mezcal
a
show.
smoky barrel aged mezcal.
Yikes! I'm not
with-
a mezcal fan.
No, but here's why you're gonna like it. She is gonna bring the fire with a heavily corn mash bill induced mezcal. So
corn.
this is going to be a mezcal that has a bunch of blue agave, but also comes with it
Okay.
a bunch of corn distillate. I'm really excited for this.
So
you guys all should be as
mellow
well.
corn with tequila mixed in.
I'm just thinking all of those sweet caramel cornbread flavors with the blue agave sweetness and the smoky mezcal. We are in for a treat. So Dia de los Muertos show next week.
I'll bring the old El Paso and the Ortega taco shells.
New York City.
I can't do this right now. Get us out of here.
Get us out of here, Jimmy.
Yeah, sign us off. Sign us off. All right, guys.
That's your job.
So big show next week for the Barrel Buddies. Oh, wait, we need 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, we said
Pecan
10 out of
punch.
10.
All right.
Absolutely.
For the Barrel Buddies, I'm James.
And I'm BJ. We'll see you next week.
Good night, guys. Everyone have a great night. Talk to you next